I have a lot of problems with motivation in sim racing, and I know that there are other people that also have similar problems. But you see, the thing is, it is possible to overcome those problems, and that's what I'll be talking about today. So, I personally, whenever I want to do sim racing, but I just don't have the motivation for it, I will most likely go and play Counter-Strike or other, regular ass PC games. In fact, I've had my sim racing, like my widescreen monitor, unplugged for a couple of weeks because I was convinced that I was going to renovate my setup. And I was using that as an excuse, almost like an excuse, in a way at least, to just not do sim racing, like not practice for this big race that's coming up, which I'll be streaming on Twitch, by the way. Please drop a follow, link in the description. Anyway, so I've found the motivation to at least make a video like this talking about motivation. And, well, getting motivation for a lot of things, let alone something that is as surprisingly physically challenging as sim racing, is difficult. And the reason it's difficult is because, well, motivation is not something that you can just naturally have. Some people might naturally have motivation, but I definitely know that I personally do not. And I know that there are other people that also do not. And in order to overcome those problems, I guess, in a fundamental way, you kind of have to think about why you don't want to do what you can't have motivation for, or what you don't have motivation for. You have to sort of think of it as like multiple problems, not necessarily just one big thing that you can't get over. It's something that you have to approach in a methodical sense. You have to think about exactly what is putting you off about doing whatever you don't want to do. And obviously, the example I'm using is sim racing, but this can apply to absolutely everything that you may not have motivation for. Overall, what you want to do is sort of, once you figure out why you don't have motivation, you want to think about why those things put you off, and then you just sort of, well, you just got to tell yourself that those things just aren't that bad. Like, for example, one of the main reasons I didn't want to get into sim racing is because it's just a lot of effort, I mean, sorry, not get into sim racing, but practice sim racing. It's, again, it's a lot of physical effort. Like, I know that sounds stupid because you're just playing a video game, but seriously, like, you're wrestling a real wheel and pushing real pedals and in some cases moving a real gear lever. That's physical effort. That is a lot more physical effort than some people realize, even for a Logitech setup, which is what I have. And finding the motivation to do something physically challenging is not easy, which is exactly why I just approached it and I was like, you know what? I don't care that, I don't really like putting in physical effort. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna just, put in the effort to give physical effort for this thing, because I know that if I put in the effort, I will eventually start enjoying it. I've experienced sim racing before. I know I enjoy it, so I thought, you know what, the payoff is more than worth it. And I think that's what you got to think about. Like, if you've got an assessment coming up and you're like, oh, I just don't want to do this because I don't have the motivation for this. You got to think about the reward for giving yourself the motivation. And I know in some cases, giving yourself motivation is not easy. But in order to give yourself motivation, you again need to think about why you're not motivated, and you have to overcome that as like sort of smaller little problems. Which is exactly why getting motivation looks difficult, but realistically, if you approach it in a methodical way, it's a lot easier than it seems. And I mean, I finally managed to plug in my monitor again, and I've recorded the background footage, as you can see, of me just going around in a Assetto Corsa. And yeah, it's physical effort, and yeah, it was a pain in the ass to set up, but the point is, it was a lot of fun, and that's the payoff. Like, I've been playing CS:GO for the past couple of weeks, not even touching my sim racing wheel, and I wasn't thinking about how much fun sim racing really is, because I was more thinking about how much fun CS is. And forgetting about how much fun something can be, or the satisfaction of turning in an assignment or something like that, when you forget something like that, you forget how easy it is to actually do it when you know that that is the outcome. And I think that's the main reason why people struggle to get motivation, is because they forget the outcome. They forget the return, the reward they get when they do what they don't want to do. And if you can sort of at least try to overcome your motivation, so you can figure out what the reward is, and maybe the reward is not that good, but if you can figure out what the reward is, and if you think it's worth it to put in the effort, well, there you go, that's your motivation problem solved. And I think if everyone can take this approach to motivation struggles, and not being able to do stuff because you're just like, screw it, I'll go, I don't know, play Counter-Strike or something like that, then I think ultimately you'll be able to succeed a lot more in life, because you'll just be able to look at something and you'll be like, yeah, this is going to suck ass, but the reward is more than worth it. So anyway, that's about it for today. I hope this video was helpful, and if you did enjoy it, please leave a like, subscribe, all that bullshit, whatever you want to do. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video, and also on Twitch, streaming that race I will be doing. Bye bye.